Okay.
Good evening, guys. Welcome to round 8. I know it says round 7 of the Rookie Racing Championship on the actual thing. But trust me, it's not round 7. It is round 8. I made a bit of a typo when loading up the stream, which is classic me, to say the least. However, I've got a guest tonight in the commentary box. Zara's joining us. How are we doing, Zara?
Everybody. We're doing very well.
It should be a good race tonight. 15 drivers on the grid, all heading out for this 18-minute qualifying session, with 2 minutes already have gone. We'll have a look at the first set of guys out on track. George Agro in the Williams leading the way round. It'll be interesting to see how this Grand Prix unfolds. Felix in the Alfa Romeo, in the familiar colours of that Alfa Romeo, is back tonight as well. Now championship leader. And it'll be interesting to see how his race unfolds. Zara, I know you haven't really been following the championship, but...
No, I haven't been following anything.
But Felix is quite a fast-paced driver, so he'll be one to look out for tonight. I see Callum's chickened out of the Brazil Grand Prix, and I know you might have some words about that, but we won't go into details at the moment.
Yeah.
As Felix makes his way around for the first lap. Interesting to see what sort of marker he can put down for himself, for himself and the others to chase. So the second to last corner onto the back straight. 2 DRS zones here in Brazil, one down at the front stretch, and then just after turn 2 on the run down to after turn 3, sorry, on the run down to turn 4, and Felix has put a very good marker to start. 107.2 to open the sheets. Bossy just behind him in the Renault has just done a 108.4, followed by Giant, or British Giant should I say, making his debut tonight, 108.7. George and Fabio in the 2 Williams just split there between Bossy and Felix. 107.5 for George and a 107.8 for Fabio. Sutil slots in behind them, and Justin splits Fabio and Sutil, so time's coming in thick and fast already. It'll be interesting to see. We've got a yellow in sector 1 and 2. Not sure who that's for, probably just some cars getting out of the way of each other. Let's have a look at Bronco in the Red Bull. Back for tonight alongside Versace in the Honda powered machines. As one of the Renaults goes very wide. I think it was SDQ and not a Bossy Gaming, sorry, going very wide in the background there. Bronco comes across the line and doesn't set a lap, so potentially had that one invalidated. Fast-paced track is Brazil, one of the fastest on the calendar. DRS open for Bronco. We'll see what sort of time he can get down on the board. Zara, what sort of obviously, like I say, you don't really follow it, but who do we expect to see at the front today, based on the very little information I have given you so far?
I mean, I think Felix will probably win.
Very good guess. is the most logical solution to that. Yeah. I think a lot of people would agree. The chat's certainly agreeing, I can tell you that.
That's good.
Good guess so far. Just make sure you can hear us nice and clear, guys. It seems alright at our end, like I say. That's from me just turning the stream up on my laptop, but on the basis. Meanwhile, Bronco crosses the line, 109.6. quite a fair considerable chunk off the pace. Looks like he might have just broke track limits coming through turn 3 there as well, so interesting to see. Cohen, another one to look out for in the Haas. Him and Justin being quite strong in the championship so far. Cohen third in the drivers' standings as it... For some reason I just decided to pull my mic out of my controller, so my sound probably cut off there.
It did, but
I've just reprogrammed it.
at least they can hear you now.
Yeah, that's the main thing. We've got a yellow coming through sector 2. It's actually gone back to green now, so a couple of cars just trying to get out the way of each other. Let's have a look down at the order and look at Fab in the McLaren on a lap currently, just about to set his first one. Flap opens up, comes across the line, nothing that time, so he'll be going on to a lap this one. Didn't say he was on an out lap, I'm assuming he got his first run invalidated, so around turn 3, down the second DRS straight into turn 4, which is a double apex left. Easy to get the car wrong, as Fab almost gets it wrong there, going all over the curb and the grass on the inside. Just about keeps it together. As he comes down the hill. And crashes actually. Fab loses it on the exit and crashes into the wall. And has done some, well, you can just see some of the Armco was a bit I was going to say a bit bent for a second, but a bit damaged, and it looks like he's potentially lost his front wing there as well, so looks like he just got it all wrong coming out of the corner. I don't know what your take on that was, Zara, but it seemed like he just got a massive kick of oversteer.
I think so too.
Yeah, just losing the rear end of the car. Keep it under control and, well, as expected, boxes this lap. Lewis Oliver in the Racing Point, the pink Mercedes. Coming around turn 3, normally quite quick is Lewis. Missed out on the last round in Mexico. However, he is back tonight. I'm looking to see if he can deliver a decent qualifying. We know he's pretty quick, is Lewis, but at the same time, times at the minute are not showing he's on pace. 108.0 he's set so far, compared to the front runner setting low to mid 107s. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do. He's on a flyer this lap, so I'm going to stick with him and see what happens. Comes over the crest, out the last turn, across the line, and that's more like what we're used to seeing of him. A 107.4 he's put in that lap. Splits Felix and George in half. So Lewis Oliver goes P2. Good run. Sutil in the Alpha Tower, he has done a 107.5, which has put him P4 currently. Fabio in the Williams, just coming around the first and second corner into turn 3, onto a lap. What he can do. Versailles, another one who's normally on pace near the top. Looks like he's struggling so far, currently P10 with a 108.2. There are some fast guys that have joined this league now though, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Versailles has been struggling the last couple of races. He's had some rotten luck in fairness, so it'll be nice to see if he can get up there. Just over 7 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Zara, what's your first verdict so far? Who do you, out of the top 5 guys, based on pace so far, who we think's winning it today?
Either Felix or Lewis.
Not George in the equation, with him being P2 currently?
I mean, yeah.
You're just being really quiet. It happens, don't worry. It's going to be interesting. I think it's quite a wide open. I mean, times a couple of attempts separating the top boys, so not a million miles away from each other. Marcus is actually finally showing the pace of the Ferrari. I do. Sorry guys, I do give the Ferrari some stick. I've done it in previous races, and I totally regret it. Because Marcus, now he's got that seat in that Ferrari, is absolutely flying in that thing. It'll be interesting to see what he can do. Meanwhile, Cohen in the Haas, his teammate Justin just diving off the road to get out of the way. I'm assuming there was a few team orders in that one. Get out the way, get out the way. So Cohen onto a lap again. Cohen, another one who's normally near the top, struggling a little bit at the minute, about 4 tenths off the pace. He needs to try and get something together. He's had a few decent races though, like I said, back up to 3rd in the championship, so not terrible from him by any means. There's definitely work still to be done. As Cohen comes around, nice and steady away, and actually goes P4 on that lap. I've only just noticed because I was looking at the chat. So Cohen sets a 107.5. I think Zara is still with us, hopefully.
I'm still here.
You're here, good. I was just thinking your mic had cut off for a second, but it seems okay. I thought the OBS was playing up there, but we're all good. Justin, who's normally strong in that ass, struggling so far. As who's that's got off in front of him? I think it's Bossy, it is. Loses the back end straight in front of Justin. And, well, I think he was on a lap there as well, so that's a bit unfortunate for Bossy. Again, a guy that's normally got decent pace. There's a yellow in sector 3. I think it's for a slow moving Haas, it is. Justin letting Bossy go, but Bossy pits anyway. Fab in the McLaren, coming out of the last corner. DRS Open. What lap time is it going to be from him? Done a 109 exactly so far, but no improvement that time. And it looks like Ben Ratcliffe so far is having another terrible day in that AlphaTauri. He showed his strength at Mexico, to be fair. Getting up into the top 10. And looks like he's struggling. And Bronco, meanwhile, has been disqualified from the session for breach of rules, I'm assuming. Let me just check quickly if I can get the detail up. Yeah, he's been disqualified for speeding in the pit lane, so too quick on approach clearly. Has threw him over. Last guy's heading out on their run. We'll watch Ben Ratcliffe, who's heading onto another run. Zara, I know you know Ben a little bit from Formula Y, but never seems to be on pace. He seems to be at the back with you sometimes in Formula Y, but not to be harsh or anything. We'll stick on board.
Okay.
Not stick on board with him, and he crashes. Ben Ratcliffe crashes coming through the middle sector and has just done a carbon copy of what one of the McLarens did earlier, of what Fab did earlier, and he's lost his front wing. Very big spin that. It's a shame to see. Pierre has joined with us. Good evening, Pierre. A few others joining us as well.
Hello.
Good to see everybody. Ben's just put EA. Sorry, mate. I'm slagging you off a little bit here. That was I caught that one on video though, mate. You're not going to be happy with that one. At least we can review the footage back. So as it stands currently, with a minute and a half to go, Felix leads the way. With him going on to an outlap, George is second, Lewis is third, Satil fourth, Cohen fifth, Marco is sixth. In fact, I've just been told I can call him Marco actually, because I got a DM from him during the midweek, which I've just remembered. Fabio 7th, FTQ 8th, Justin 9th, Versati 10th, Bossy 11th, British Giant 12th, Fab in 13th, and Ben in 14th so far, and obviously Bronco, who has been disqualified from the qualifying session. That's the last guys head their way out to have one more run at it with just under a minute to go. These will be the last laps coming through now. We're going to watch Felix for a lap out of the last corner, using as much track as possible just to go as quick as possible really. Across the line he comes onto his lap. Who's coming round? Satil bails for the pit lane, so he's done. Cohen will be the first to cross the line after the guys who have already gone round for another lap. And across the line, Cohen comes, and it's P3 for Cohen. Good lap from him. 107.3, splits, pushes Lewis Oliver down the order. Oliver and Sutil are in the pit lane, so they cannot improve. Marco's going to be the next to come across the line in the Ferrari. Let's see what sort of lap time he can do. If he could potentially split some of the top boys across the line. No improvement, unfortunately. Next to come across the line is SDQ. P10, can he get ahead? No, he can't. Bossy bails for the pit lane. British bails for the pit lane. I think that's George about to come across the line. It is, and he can't improve either. So that is the grid for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Felix first, George second, Cohen third, Lewis fourth, Sutil fifth, Marco sixth, Justin seventh, Fabio eighth, British Giant ninth, SDQ 10th, Versati 11th, Bossy 12th, Fab 13th, and Ben Ratcliffe in 14th, and obviously Bronco 15th after being disqualified from the current session, which is a shame. Stay tuned, guys. We will join you back shortly at the start of the race with commentary of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Stay tuned. One.
2, 1.
Live. Welcome back, guys, to the Rookie Racing Championship. We're about to get going and get underway. And that was perfect timing, actually, as the grid leads their way off on the formation lap for the Brazilian Grand Prix. So just a quick reminder of the grid. Front row is Felix and George. Second row, Cohen and Lewis. Third row, Sutil and Marco. Fourth row, Justin and Fabio. Fifth row, British and SDQ. Sixth row, Versailles and Bossy. Seventh row, Fab and Ben. Bronco and Mr. Markerink in the Mercedes. Late arrival to the party. Is going to round off the grid in P16. So should be a good race, this one. Well, if anything's to go with Markerink's pace last time out in Mexico, he could give Felix a run for his money tonight. It'll be interesting to wait and see as Felix leads them round on the formation lap. Stream of Formula 1 cars through the middle sector. And it should be a good one, this. Plenty of fast guys out there. Hopefully Felix doesn't run away with it from pole. And it'll make quite an interesting and decent race, hopefully. As the grid comes round to form up. Ready for the start of the Brazilian Grand Prix. It should be a good one. 36 laps of this famous old track. Going to be out just under an hour's race. And hopefully the guys put us on a show as we look down the grid. Towards turn one, Markerink just forming up there in the background. And grid will reset. And in a second, we will go green. As we now come on to 5 red lights. The Brazilian Grand Prix. Lights out, away we go. Not a very good start from Felix, actually. He bogs down and he's dropping down the order. George is going to have a go down the inside into him into turn 1. Couldn't quite get it done though. Has to back out. There's a bit of contact in the background. I think that's British Giant round it is. I think he just got tapped from behind. Markerink, not Markerink, sorry. I think one of the Haas is involved in there of Justin as well. A bit of contact through T1 as they come down through turn 3 and just about keeping it clean. Apart from that slight bit of contact, plenty of battles going out on track. Fabio is just about to try and get past Bossy to get into P9. And battle developing, but he's also having to defend from a lightning start from Markerink up into P11 from P16. What a start, Zara. I've said that at the wrong time, I do apologise. It's got a bit quick. Cohen still there. Still looking to try and make a move. Sutil's actually backed off quite a considerable margin, actually. Might have just got squeezed out a little bit. Felix opens the timing sheet to a 1:14.9. And this is where it does the glitch of the race order, unfortunately. A massive bug in the F1 game. As it's now reset. Felix leads away from George, from Cohen, from Sutil, from Oliver. Marco just behind them, followed by SDQ. This little 7-car train starting to pull away a little bit now. Bronco, Bossy, Fabio and Markerink starting to drop back a little bit, and even further behind is Ben Ratcliffe and Versailles. And Versailles not had a good start at all. He's really struggled. And it seems like Felix is not running away with this one. He's got George for company. And based on the last time out, we know what George is capable of. He actually goes faster than Felix on that lap, a 1:10.5. On cold tyres, that's not too bad. Got to be steady in these first few laps. Cold tyres. This could be a chance for George here though. He's got DRS down the straight. He's going to have a look down the inside. And I think he's got it. Squeezes Felix out a little bit. And I think he knew he squeezed him out because he lets him go back through on the outside. This is going to allow Cohen to get involved. This is great racing. I think we've got quite a very open race on our hands, Zara. I don't know what you think.
I mean, it looks good so far. Yeah.
That's all you're gonna say. Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's nervous. Guys, just give a hat off for Zara. Give her some love in the chat, because I've dragged her to do this tonight, and you're not doing too bad. Oh, there's a safety car being deployed. That's gonna shake everything up. I wonder what's happened there. I think it's Fabio that's out of the race. So the safety car's being pulled out. Now all the safety car, oh, Felix, you could have waited for the safety car, mate. Jesus. So that means they have to suffer a lap round, not behind the safety car. I mean, that is going to cause all sorts of mess trying to get past. As Lewis Oliver does a George Russell into the barrier behind the safety car. I think Bossy Gaming's done the exact same thing. So it's a shame. The safety car will wait for the leaders to pick up, but I think that's a little bit naughty of Felix there, not to slow down, realising the safety car was only there. So might be one for the steward's room after that. I don't know what you think, Zara, but I think Felix should have waited for the safety car to pull out in front of him, don't you think?
Yeah,
I
agree with you.
Suffer them with a lap of Delta, which is horrible in this game. And being stuck on a certain pace, it'll be interesting to say the least what happens. As George comes down the back section for Felix, the safety car will just be around just after turn 4, I think is where it parked up. Yes, it was. And you know what, I'm going to stick the track map up, because that might help us out identify incidents, to be fair. Well, the safety car's actually waiting in the middle sector, which is a bit unusual. Normally waits in the first sector, but hey ho. And now the leaders pick up the back of the safety car queue. It seemed like from what we've been hearing reports wise, it was quite a big wreck for Fabio there, coming out of the final corner, just getting it completely wrong. That's from what I've seen so far. Let us know, guys, if you're enjoying the stream. Unfortunately, I think this safety car is going to be out for a few laps, so we'll take a quick break from commentary just while the safety car is still out, and we'll join you back very shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. The race is about to restart. The safety car is in at the end of this lap. Felix leaving it very late. The field bunched up. The green light goes. The green flag's waved, and we are back racing. And there's been a crash at the back, I think. Looks like a serious one. I think there was a bit of contact in the background. Luckily, we didn't have a Magello situation there, but it could have easily gone that way. Everyone gets away cleanly in a nice single file order. A lot of penalties stacking up though. Markerus, SDQ, Bronco and Marker Inc. all running into the back of each other behind the safety car, bringing a load of penalties. And there's been a crash in the background. I think it's Ben Ratcliffe. It is. He's off the racetrack. He's just round the corner. There he is. Get back going. I'm surprised it hasn't brought out a VSC, to be honest, but it's as we continue racing. Lap 8 out of 36. A lot of these guys who are on the soft compound tyre will be wanting to pit very shortly to try and get to the end of the race. Most people you'd think would be trying to do the one stop, but it's never always possible to do a one stop round here. I think the safety car potentially for a free pit stop came a bit too early. There's a yellow in sector 3. I think it's Marker Inc. actually. It is, and he's actually gone into the pit lane, but for some reason he's come back slow into the pit lane. He's gone a bit too slow. Ben's also into the pits, and there's been a bit of a scuffle at the back. I think Justin went wide there, and the VSC's been brought out, so yes, that was a serious accident for Marker Inc. because he pitted for a new front wing and getting it broken, and that's going to take some clearing up. So the virtual safety car's being deployed. This shouldn't last too long. I know you told me not to spray it on you, Zara, but how do you think the race has gone so far?
Interesting, to be honest. Yeah.
Interesting in the fact that Felix isn't pulling a 30-second gap over the rest of the field. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
That's another thing. The green flag goes again. We're back racing. A very quick VSC. There's a yellow though. I think there's been a serious accident. There has indeed. Fab is out of the race, and Bronco has had a serious accident as well. I think they've both taken each other out. That might be one for the steward's room after, but Fab is completely out of the race. He has lost his front right tyre. And that's a serious collision. That might end up bringing another safety car out. We'll have to wait and see. I think it is. I think if it was going to bring out a safety car, it would have done it by now, and it goes green. So no safety car needed for that one, due to the fact of him being quite far off the racing line. But that looked like a serious collision between the two of them. Felix carries on. And he's starting to pull a little bit of a gap now. 1.2 seconds is the gap. Yellow on the pit straight for some reason. I don't really know why. I mean, it's saying it's for Sutil actually. Ben Ratcliffe has actually retired from the Grand Prix due to his accident on the restart. As I think that was one of the lapped cars. I think that was Bronco going through one of the boards there in the Red Bull. Now this could get very interesting for Felix with lapped cars. If he doesn't dispatch a Bronco quickly, this could end in tears. And losing, Bronco sort of half spins it out the way. That sort of plays into George's hands a bit, because he doesn't have to mess about getting past him. Lap cars could be an issue, and it looks like Ben Ratcliffe has fully retired now. They come down the back straight. Felix from George from Suthill in the AlphaTauri, who's having a brilliant race so far. Good effort. But it's this battle we want to watch. Felix versus George. Interesting. I'm just seeing Ben put in the chat. This has gone great. I love Brazil. I don't think you are, mate. It seems very sarcastic to me, based on the fact that you're P14 and you're out of the race. Sorry, I had to get that in. Like how the fact you're just laughing at that, like it's. Anyway, there's a yellow inspector free. Marker Ink's got a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. For some reason it brings out, I don't know if this is a glitch or something, but it seems to bring out a yellow flag every single time somebody goes into the pit lane, which is a bit strange, but is what it is. Nice to see there's more coming on. I've just knocked some in a disc off my thing. That's ideal. That was unintentional. There's a few guys heading for the pit lane now. And SDQ's in for his set of tyres. Giant and Justin move up along with a few others. Now this battle is getting close now between George and Felix. Now the question is, are they going to go in on the same lap? Who's going to react first? Because if George goes in this lap and potentially tries to do the undercut and Felix stays out, it could make for a very interesting race, because Felix would have to go a lot longer on an older set of tyres. So it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds. Bronco on a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. It's mostly track limits, and they're both staying out. I think it's going to be a case of George is going to go in when Felix is going to go in, because he's right behind him. The pit strategy shed said this time was the right time to come in. He's staying out for now. George is all over the bat. This is going to make into a really, really good and interesting battle. George still pressurising as much as he can, and for as long as he can. Ferrari power versus Mercedes power. George with DRS, this could play into his favour a little bit. He's going to have a look down the inside. He had a peep, didn't think of it though. He's going to get DRS coming down the next straight though. And can he do anything at this time? A bit of a shorter straight, this one. Again, has a peep and thinks better of it, trying to get out the draft of that Alpha in front. In theory, George should get past sooner rather than later, you would think. Based on his pace, he's right all over the back of Felix now. It's going to turn into a pretty good battle during this race. Even though they're still battling, they're still extending the gap. There's the AlphaTauri of Suthill just behind. George will have another assault. They're all going as long as they can on these tyres. Meanwhile, I think that's Bronco off the track. It is. So he has to rejoined safely, and now you think George is going to be in an A1 position to overtake again. Has a look again down the inside. This is turning into a really interesting battle, Zara. I don't know what you can see from your camera, but it seems very interesting.
Yeah, I can see Felix and George.
Okay, cool, that's good.
Yeah.
You do know how to flick up and down, don't you? Between drivers.
No,
L2 to go up a place, R2 to go down a place.
Oh, alright.
Can you see?
Thank you.
Can you see other drivers? There we go.
Yeah.
So that helps. But I think we need to stick with this one now, because George is going to get DRS down the front stretch. Felix dived for the pits, so Felix is the first to react. That is going to be interesting. I don't think George was expecting that, to be fair. I think they were expecting to go around one more time. So Felix is in the pit lane, along with Sutil, who's followed him in behind. Quick pit stop on the way, off he goes. Got a yellow in sector 3. I think that's Bronco in the wall again. It is. Bronco off track. We'll rejoin with George, who's got quite a significant gap now to play with. It's not a long pit stop round here in Brazil, so but I think George might lose out here, because I think Felix has played it right with the undercut strategy. Only time will tell though, is George gonna come into the pits this time round? The answer is yes, he is. Close to the wall, into the pit lane, flying in, locking the tyres on entry. Now this is where it could get interesting. On board with him in the pits, let's see what he can do. Felix is just coming around the last corner now. This needs to be quick from the Williams team. It is a quick one, but is it enough? I'm not sure. Felix is just coming round now. It's going to be a drag race. Let's see if he gets out. I think Felix is just going to get ahead. Yes, only just though. Jesus, that was tight. So George finds himself behind Felix again. I think Bronco's had a crash again. Yes, he has. He's on the inside of the track there, actually. In a bit of a dangerous spot. Rejoins, but so in the meantime, Bossy inherits the race lead. But Bossy actually not doing a pit stop yet, but he's been on them medium since lap 17, so I'm assuming he's doing a medium to hard strategy. Felix not far behind, who's just trying to get past Versailles and gets it done. And Versailles has been on them hards for 14 laps. And Felix does the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on 109.2, I think it was, it flashed up with. Versailles isn't giving up. He wants to be at the front. Whether he'll get there or not. Ben, I agree with you. I don't think Versailles will get to that. Do all that race on them hards. He's been on them hards since lap 4, so as George dives down the inside of him, Versailles is going to try and keep it. I think Versailles is running out of tyres, to be honest. It might be a time where he needs to pit shortly. So the next target for Felix is Bossy, but that one's going to be easily dispatched as Bossy dives for the pit lane. So Felix back into the race lead, followed by George. I don't know if this is the Brian that we know, but there's a Brian just commented on the stream. Zara, that might get you a bit worried. I don't think it's the same person, to be honest.
No, it's not. It's not.
Just put Bronco 2 is nice. So
that's definitely.
well, he is nice, mate, but he's at the back of the grid at the minute. Unfortunately, he's off the track again, actually, and he's actually DNF'd. He's actually crashed out, and that has brought out another safety car. Oh dear, this is not playing. Yep, there's the car wrecked at the fully wrecked at the side of the road. He's got it badly wrong, coming through exit of sector 2. Now that's going to shake things up. This is nicely played into Versailles' hands, though. He might pit this lap. And indeed he is. He's going to go onto a set of mediums. This has played nicely into Versailles' hands. This safety car. And this time the safety car's got ahead of the race leader. So it should be relatively short and sweet. A couple of other guys taking advantage. Giants in the pits. Bossy staying out. SDQ's in the pits. Marco's in the pits. People taking advantage of this second full course safety car. So stay tuned, guys. Like I say, as the safety car ends, we'll take another quick break and we'll rejoin you shortly. Stay tuned, guys. Welcome back, guys. The race is back underway. I'm not sure what's happened behind the safety car there. I mean, Zara is still confused and puzzled and trying to figure it out. But Felix has lost the position, got back up into P2. He dropped all the way down to P3. There's a bit of contact. Going through. I mean, Zara, I don't know what's happened there, but Felix just dropped straight down the order from P1 to P3.
But he's catching up again. He's in P2 now.
He is catching up, and he is catching George. But George, it's played into his hands quite nicely. That safety car's actually played into Vasaity's hands quite nicely, with him being on them very old set of hards, being able to make a free pit stop, not lose too many positions.
Which is good.
Now I don't know if this is a good position for George or not, because he's going to have to defend a lot from Felix now in the last 13 or so laps of this race. I mean, if we get another safety car, that's not going to play into his hands. So, as he comes out the last corner, apologies guys, I am drinking a very hot coffee to try and keep me awake. It's been a long day, chat. It's been a long day. I need a drink of coffee. Beautiful.
Amazing.
Ben's just put in the chat, George is good enough and fast enough to build a gap. Potentially, yeah, but the gap seems to be stabilising, to be fair, at the minute. We'll do around 4 or 5 tenths. Doesn't seem to be closing, doesn't seem to be enlarging, so George is quick, we do know that, but it'll be interesting to see come the end of this race what happens. As Felix will get DRS coming down the next 2 straights. The DRS is open. He's actually not opened it. Oh, I've just remembered DRS isn't enabled, so he'll get it down this straight. It's enabled now. Forgot it takes a few laps to reignite itself. Apologies for that. But he's got DRS now. And he's gonna brake as late as he can, which he's done pretty well. However, the gap seems to be stabilising around that 4 tenths mark. Drop a bit further back and see the Lewis Oliver Sutil battle going on, with Cohen just trying to join the back of this train as well. Sutil almost gets it all wrong coming out of there. As SDQ's just been given a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. And I think British Giant in the McLaren, he's just got past Vasaity for P6. So a good move from him. George is still defending from Felix. But Felix is going to do as much as he can to try and get himself past. So till breaking track limits now. That shook up that midfield battle with the amount of penalties stacking up there. Felix, I don't think we'll give this one up. He's got quite a fair way to go in this race. However, as Ben Ratcliffe actually predicted, the gap is growing now. Got up to 6-7 tenths, so it is growing quite significantly. And Felix is now shutting the gap. There's a yellow in sector 2. I think that's a Justin. It is. Justin's off the track. Getting it wrong coming out of turn 4. However, we'll go back to the top battle. As I think there's been another crash. I think Lewis Oliver's had a moment. He has. He's into the infield. He's reset to track, which you're not really supposed to do. If I'm being honest, it's a dangerous thing to do. As Felix has DRS on George, George is going to defend as hard as he can. Down into, is George going to hang it? He's going to try. Felix squeezes his way through. But George is going to get DRS this time to try and come back at him. And he's going to have a go, and there's contact. They've hit each other, and George goes round. That is a big moment in this Grand Prix. As George is off the racetrack, he went for the dive and got it all wrong. If you ask me, Zara, I think that's probably cost George the Grand Prix. If you ask me, I don't know what you think. I think it's going to be a long way to try and come back in 8 laps, isn't it?
Yeah. But he might end up in either P3 or P4.
Potentially. He's about a little bit off the pace for Versailles. I actually got an alright answer out of you there. I'm actually quite impressed. Sorry, I had to bring that up. Love you, really. George, yeah, I think that's wrecked his race for getting to P1 and has just handed it on a plate to Felix, as long as Felix doesn't make a mistake. That was a big moment in this Grand Prix. As just behind Felix, Sutil and Cohen have a bit of a scrap. Just seeing Ben's just put in the chat, George stuck his nose somewhere it should not have been, but to beat Felix you need to take risks. Absolutely is the right answer to that. I don't know if that was a dive bomb or not. It didn't look like it on the replay, but I'm sure the stewards will be investigating that one after. Where's Declan? Good Lamau, Ben, good Lamau. As the Sutil Cohen battle rages on. Cohen will get DRS coming down the next straight. He's within a second, so he will get the flap open. There it goes. Down the back straight. Couldn't quite have enough pace to do anything. As meanwhile, Giant is now all over the back of Versailles for 4th place. Really good debut from him, to be fair, in that McLaren. First time out in the RRC Championship. And to be fair, he's having a decent race so far. He's gone into a set of softs. Well, I think he should be able, in theory, just about to get them to the end of the race. They're 8 laps old. Yeah, I think he'll get to the end. I think that was when he pitted under the safety car, actually, the second one. So he should get them to the end of the race if he keeps his nose nice and clean. Bit further up the road, Cohen and Sutil still raging on. As Cohen gets DRS, he's might have a go if he's late enough on the brakes. Not that time. Gonna try as much as he can to get as close as he can. Oh, as Cohen gets a big kick of oversteer there. You saw the tail kick out. Took a bit of grass with him. Almost got that wrong. It's going to allow Sutil to extend the gap a little bit. Meanwhile, Satiety and Giant's battle rages on. Giant has DRS coming down the straight. He's going to try and go the long way round and gets it done before the corner. Great move. Satiety late on the brakes to try and get his nose back in there. And Satiety will have DRS coming down the back straight. Flap is open. Not quite close enough though to make it stick. George meanwhile has moved just past Bossy, back up into P6. Maybe the recovery drive's on for him. I mean, there's 4 laps to go in this race, but there's potential he could catch if Giant and, well, in fact Giant has actually just got past Satiety, so Giant into P4. If these two keep battling on and George can pull a gap over Bossy, George is not out of this race yet, to be fair.
He's actually catching up on them.
He is, just a couple of attempts or so each time round. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Going another big kick of oversteer in that Haas again. Just about keeps it together. He's going to get DRS down the back straight to have another assault at Sutil. Closest battle on track so far at the moment. George is extending his gap to Bossy and actually catching Satiety and Giant. Slowly but surely, 2.3 seconds is the gap now between them guys. And I don't think the podium places are done yet. Cohen would like the championship points. And tonight, if my maths serves me correctly, Felix is in the pits though. That is an interesting call. As his, I think his tyres have gone. That is another big moment in this race. He's into the pit lane. Crew doing the tyres, putting on a set of softs. I think his tyres have gone, and he said, "I can't get these to the end of the race, boys. I'm coming in." So Sutil in the AlphaTauri. He's only raced a few races with us. Currently leads the Brazilian Grand Prix from Cohen. And either way, with the current standings, I'm just looking now, as long as Felix doesn't drop down to P8, which is looking unlikely, he will become the RRC World Champion as it stands, with a massive points gap at the top. But this race has taken a completely different direction. Sutil leading the way. Cohen is going to want to try and get past him. Are we going to see some last ditch manoeuvres? I'm not sure. I think Justin has had a spin in the Haas. He has, but he's got back going. This has gone into a new direction. There's a bit of a battle going on here. Three-way scrap for third place. Giant for Satiety. And George has DRS. Satiety has DRS, goes down the inside of Giant. Giant's fighting back. I think there was a bit of contact on exit. They just about keep it clean. The three Formula 1 cars are fighting over one bit of road. Satiety runs into the back.
Oh my god.
Satiety runs into the back of Giant in front. That gives George P4. And can George get through past Giant into P3? Let's wait and see. But the scraps are continuing. It's going to be a really, really exciting end to this Brazilian Grand Prix. George will get DRS down the main straight and down the back straight. If he doesn't quite get the move done here, he'll close up here. She does, late on the brakes as much as he can. Felix has already moved himself back up to P6, so at the minute he will be world champion in that position, but there's another battle going on. George going to go round the outside, and he's got the move done! On British Giant, George back up into P3.
He did it.
After his nightmares, Zara made the prediction, and he's fulfilled that prediction on the last lap of this Grand Prix. It's going to go right to the wire. But at the minute, back at the front, it's going to be last-ditch manoeuvres for Cohen to try and get this race win. I think the outcome seems very unlikely. Felix has moved back up to P5. Sutil, though, is round the final corner. It's going to be a drag race to the line. This is going to be interesting. I think Sutil's just got it. He gets it. Sutil wins the Brazilian Grand Prix from Cohen. In fact, Cohen wins it. Cohen got him on the line. Unbelievable scenes. Cohen gets him on the line. George comes home for a magnificent P3. Felix home. But the main news today is Felix has come home in P4 and is the first ever RRC Formula 1 World Champion. Side by side with Giant there. What a drive from the man. I mean, he's been dominant all season. The things didn't quite go his way today, but he fighted his way back up to P4 and got that World Championship that he thoroughly deserves, if you ask me. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate your company. That was an exciting end to that race. Cohen sneaks the win on the line from the real Sutil. George coming home in third position. That was a great race, and we'll see you next time.